My name is Andy Thomas. I'm the Group Managing Editor of Labels and Labelling. And this is my 10th Label Expo here in North America, here in Chicago. So to me it's one of the most exciting shows that I've seen here in terms of new technology launches. I think that part of that effect is that we had Drupa in Europe early in the year, and a lot of companies who launched new products at Drupa have brought them over to Labelexpo Americas to show them, for many cases, for the first time in North America. So that's given a real kind of boost to the number of new products that you see at the show. But I see really three big trends. First of all, if you look at the conventional and digital press market, flexible packaging has become quite a real buzzword in the industry. We see more and more label converters looking to move into flexible packaging. Also, many wide web flexible packaging converters looking to move down in press width because the run lengths are getting shorter. And here you see at the show two dedicated flexible packaging presses, which is the Labelexpo FA6 Asteris and also the Bob's M6. Now what's interesting is that the Bobs will be shown using flexible packaging with UV curing. And UV curing up to now has been basically not acceptable for end users. What Bobs are showing is a way of measuring the dose that goes onto the web throughout the job, so the brand manager can be assured that a certain amount of radiation dose has cured those inks through the roll. And the Labelexpo press is equipped for water-based and solvent inks, which is the traditional way that we print for flexible packaging. If you now look at the conventional press side, what we've seen, the trend in the last 5 years has really been under pressure from the digital press manufacturers. We all know run lengths are coming down. If I look back 10 years ago, 15 years ago, to the early shows that I came to here, you went to a press demo and it was taking you maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes to change over an 8-color job with dyes and varnish units. Now you go out there to the show floor and you'll see changeovers in minutes. I mean, literally sort of 3-4 minutes. So we see a dedicated new range of presses here, which are aimed really at the pressure-sensitive market. Don't try to be all singing, all dancing, flexible packaging machines, purely dedicated to very efficient short runs of PS labels. So for example, we see the Omet iFlex, which is launched here in North America for the first time. Etirama is showing their own machine, the Evo machine. From MPS have a machine here, the Neo, which is a highly automated PS press. So you can see that the PS market is either going to very efficient entry-level machines for PS production or highly automated machines for PS production. So again, you can see here that the idea is that you want to get jobs on and off the press very quickly with the minimum amount of waste. And really, these are starting to compete now with digital presses in sort of longer short to medium run lengths, and making the digital press guys have to think about the USPs of their machines. Variation, variable imaging, super short runs, prototyping, short run marketing, etc. So on the digital press side, very interesting show. We see really three types of machine here and a lot of new launches. So if you look at the standalone digital press market, then you can look at the hybrid market, which is where you have a flexo press effectively broken in half with a 4, 5, 6, 7 color imaging unit, inkjet unit stuck in the middle of the press. So you have one line, which is the traditional way that we've worked in the narrow web market. So you're going from roll in through to printing, converting, and finished product coming off the end. Die cut and inspected, sometimes slit as well. And if you look at this show, for example, Durst has just announced just before the show, it's the world first for the first project with Omet. So Omet are supplying the X6 converting unit. So converters can now have the tower press in line with the Omet. They have a priming station, so where you can treat the material before it goes into the press, and then a number of conventional printing modules after that. And that's interesting because I think that the Durst also are very strong in the standalone market with offline partners, and they also have their own laser die-cut finishing unit. Domino, again, it's interesting. Domino have their own inline machine here, which has ABG Digicon effectively built into the press. Another interesting way that digital is going is where you're having a digital printing module actually put onto a conventional flexo press, which means that one of your older flexo presses, for example, can become effectively a kind of digital or hybrid machine. So Colordyne is a very interesting unit, which is kind of a bolt-on to a conventional press. If you look at the main conventional press manufacturers, which is really, if you look at Mark Andy, if you look at Neil Peter, look at MPS, look at Omet, so they're all looking to how they can play in the digital market. So Mark Andy has an interesting new press launch here, the Digital One press, which is a standalone press but with a built-in flexographic unit. So that press can either operate inline or offline, but you can have coating or varnishing on the same press line. It's more of an entry-level machine. But if you look at then, they have the digital series press, which is where they have their digital integration team building inkjet heads into a conventional digital press and performance P7 machine. Then you have Neil Peter with the panorama machines, and again this is their digital press unit and a modular conventional finishing solution. Then also you have Omet here with their own hybrid machine. So I think that we're looking here at different models of digital printing. Are we going to go what's become in the digital world the traditional way of doing things? So I have my standalone press and then I finish offline. Or now that presses are becoming wider and becoming faster, am I going to print and finish in the same press pass? So I'd like to mention HP Indigo. Here we had the world launch of the 8000 press. We saw it at Drupa, and before that, Labelexpo in Europe. This is the worldwide commercial launch of this machine. And this is interesting because it's kind of effectively stacks together two WS 6800 presses in line, so doubling the speed. At the same time, I see that Zycon here in the finishing area. We have a very interesting digital finishing area, which I think has been covered earlier, but you'll see the Zycon press there with a new flatbed die cutting unit. And that's, for example, particularly good if you're doing the short runs of digital cartons, or if you're doing sheet labels, for example. So the final thing here is to just draw attention to is that inkjet now is moving from being a printing process. So we see either standalone digital presses here. In some cases, I should also say that there are LED machines, new dedicated LED machines. Epson is the worldwide launch of their inline LED press here. So that's a very interesting development. So LED is really moving from being a system just used to pin inks before the final cure to now being a full curing system on a digital press. Dilly also has their new entrant to the digital press market. They have their new press. So just to finish off, on the digital finishing side, what we see is inkjet moving from being a print process, actually just doing 4, 5, 6, 7 color printing, either in a standalone or a combined unit, but also now to do finishing. So for example, spot varnishing. So you're looking at high build varnishes. It can either be a spot varnish, it could be a matte or a gloss varnish. And because it's inkjet, you're not having to have a printing plate, it means it can be variable. So technically now we can have a digital press with completely variable finishing. So that can be, for example, we can't quite do braille yet, but they can certainly do tactile finishes because UV inkjet has this slightly raised screen type effect. So it's almost like having a screen unit on the end of your press. So now we have digital presses, and HP Indigo has, again, an interesting machine here. They have a 6800 press with an inline inkjet finishing unit built by Digital Effects, which effectively means that you can now have totally variable print and finishing. Domino have a similar system here, which is an inkjet bar effectively. But also in the N610i press, they also now have this integrated into the machine, so digital finishing unit. New Epson LED press also has digital varnishing built into the end of the machine. So for me, this is a very exciting Labelexpo. I think that we're seeing digital presses in a kind of war of formats. Which format will be successful depends upon your business model. We're seeing also the conventional press manufacturers really fighting back, getting much more efficient machines going. And on the finishing side, we're seeing this very interesting move towards digital finishing. So I'm very much looking forward to the show. Thank you.